Hey everyone, welcome back to season 2 of You Were Meant for More. I am your host, Francine Ayala, and I am so excited as far as what's coming for 2025. I've recently launched an 8-week program called Ignite Your Confidence, and we are going to focus on the fundamentals of faith, fitness, and finance, because those are the 3 foundations that you need to really break through in this new year. So are you ready to step out into your power and purpose and walk boldly and confidently into your next season? Go ahead and contact me at francineayala.com/men-for-more. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of You Were Meant for More. I am your host, Francine Ayala. If you can hear it in my voice, I woke up with a little bit of a sore throat. So I am just grateful, humbled that I reached out to this beautiful woman and she responded to join me live in a matter of 2 hours, I believe. I reached out to you, Hannah.
Yeah, might have been less.
And the best part, you all, is that I was actually reaching out to another Hannah. She responded, meaning like Hannah Peasley responded. And I said, oh my goodness, how perfect is this? Because I kept meaning to circle back with her. You know, when you just find that synergy with another amazing woman, that you're just in alignment with your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. That's who Hannah is. And I'm just, I love this, that we've never met in person, but I call her up and she's like, I'm there for you. What do you need? I'm telling you,
support each other.
You got to find your tribe of women that just will absolutely tell. So I want to quickly share. So first of all, thank you. This is Hannah Peasley, everyone. And you're going to get to know her. Today's episode is going to be very casual. I know we're going to be talking about self-doubt to self-worth and the power of positive talk, but this is the first time I'm going to do the show in a very casual type of setting, because normally I'm like, hey everyone, and I'm staying in alignment and so forth. But we're going to sip on our coffee, tea, whatever that may look like, glass of wine. And we're just going to have this conversation. So I want to say thank you so much, Hannah, for just like being there at the drop of a dime for someone you've never met, but know that within your heart, we are just like this.
Absolutely. And I do it every time. I think as women, as we grow our network and our support systems, you got to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. And I told you when we first met and we were bonding and aligning, that anything I could do to support you at any point, if I had the capacity to do it, I would do it. And I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I am here for whatever you need. And I'm actually very excited for this chat today.
Yes. So, oh my goodness. It's completely up to you. Do you want to share how you're like, let me check to see if I can join you? You want to tell the audience?
All right. I mean, listen, ladies, I don't know how many people have been there, but I just got yesterday a laser facial treatment. And I can't even tell you, I am so beet tomato red and my skin feels like lizard. I feel like I have scales. I have flaking pieces and little scabs starting. I mean, that's just the way it goes. But was I anticipating being on a live video 24 hours later? No, I was not. But thank God the type that I got, I was able to put on some makeup, and with the blessings of technology that we have, I think I look okay. But I was like, let me check with my esthetician to make sure that I can put some makeup on and actually be on video, because I didn't want to grace you all with the face that I actually have underneath this.
You guys, I'm telling you, this woman is by far a beauty. And she showed up and I was like, what red? Like, you know, she did, of course, you apply a little bit of makeup. Yeah, but I was like, she's like, wow, the camera just really helps out. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I feel like I'm catfishing you all right now. And
right? Like, you don't know what's really underneath this.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, it's too funny. I've been taking pictures every day to kind of like track my progress. Yes. And every day it's like a jump scare for myself where I'm like, oh, okay. It's not great, but it's for a cause. We're going to look great after this.
Yes. And so today I did a couple lives on Facebook and Instagram, and I told the audience, hey, if you all join us live, be sure to engage, ask questions along the way. But I mean, I was so grateful. My friend, I don't know if I told you, my friend Rocio did call back, and she's like, I'm sorry. She's like, she's out shopping, and she goes, I would have totally been on live with you. And I said, that's okay. So as her and I were talking, your text came through, and I was like, sweet. And I told her, she's like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, I'm telling you guys are all so supportive, and I absolutely love that. And so, our topic, again, as mentioned, we're going to be sharing a lot about that, where we were in self-doubt. And my apologies if I continue to clear my throat. I got to pop in a halls in a bit. But we go from self-doubt to self-worth, and it's really through a process of learning and growing about who we are. And I wanted to ask you, Hannah, if you personally ever felt, where there was a lot of negative self-talk that happened in your life, and how you want to share that, what ultimately got you out of that.
For sure. I would say most of my life was consumed by negative self-talk, and I didn't even know. I'm, not out here like cussing myself out or saying I'm, worthless or anything. But negative self-talk doesn't necessarily mean that. It's, am I good enough to do this? Should I really be doing that, or am I, just faking it? It can be a lot of different things and show up in a lot of different ways. And I didn't realize that I was speaking to myself negatively until I started working with a coach. I was starting to get into higher levels of my career, finding opportunities, not given. I went out and I fought for them, but I was starting to enter into opportunities where I really had to have a lot of confidence. And I did not realize that I was doing this to myself until the need arose for me to actually have that self-confidence and conquer the negative self-talk. Once I realized it, holy smokes, all of a sudden, I actually had a coach at one point who told me to, as they came up, to write down what those negative thoughts were, just throughout the day, just quickly either keep a note on your phone or write it down, whatever. And then at the end of the day, to reframe each one of those. And so I was almost physically fighting back against that negative self-talk and reframing all the thoughts that were flooding in. And soon as they came in, because it's, it doesn't happen immediately that you just stop negative self-talk. As those thoughts came in, I was able to immediately be like, oh no, I've already thought this one. I know how to reframe it. I'm just going to shove it away. And you build the capacity, you build the skill set of shutting down those thoughts. But I would say that it really became prevalent for me when I started coming into my own in my career. Like I said, because I really needed to have that confidence in order to continue growing in my upward trajectory. And so I'd say that was even probably maybe only like 6, 7, 8 years ago. And maybe that sounds like a long time to some people, but for me, it feels like it was right around the corner. Like it was not that long ago. And I've done a lot of work since then to work on those things.
Yes, absolutely. And earlier I was sharing with her like how we're all in a different space of growth. And I remember when I became NLP certified as a neuro-linguistic programming coach, you actually have to go through the process of personal develop in your own space. You have to go through the modalities of releasing stuff that's within you, and so that you can train others and have a coaching with others, so that you can ultimately bring people to their own awareness, so that they can understand where the root cause is, and then eventually go through the reframing process of getting rid of that negativity. And I was telling Hannah that, even after I became certified, I still was struggling. I saw all of my team members that were part of the training with me excel in their business. I saw their income rise. I saw their business rise. And I was still just in this rut of like constant, like unawareness of like where to go and what to do. And it was very depleting, because when you work so hard on yourself and you still don't see results, you're just like, I felt defeated ultimately. And but then I continued with it. As Hannah said, you get a coach, you get a mentor, you keep going, because it's, personal development is constantly flowing. Every single day of your life, you should be constantly learning and growing in who you are as a person. And so as soon as I started doing that and really working with a coach, everything started to change for me. I started to see things. Who knew that I needed to dive into forgiveness? Who knew that I needed to dive into ego and pride? What? Who knew that we held on to things like that? And so yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly, how the coach you worked with taught you the format and the modality of reframing, because you get to look at it a different way. You get to experience that in a way where it's positive and not negative. And so thank you so much for sharing. And I was trying to share a video with you all. It was Finding Nemo, and it wouldn't play. But if you all remember when Nemo was swimming against the thousands and thousands of fish, do you remember that? I just keep thinking of him swimming against the current, or him swimming against like all of these. And the reason why I reference that, and of course, just keep swimming, is because we are all on our own path. We are all headed in a direction of personal growth according to who we are and the values and the beliefs that were instilled within us from birth. So never feel like, I remember, Hannah, I don't know if you ever did this. I remember seeing women, that I was in the same industry, and they're excelling and they're growing and they're making things happen. And I'm just like, man, I know I'm that good, but what is happening with me? Like, why am I not there? So you talk about like imposter syndrome, not really, feeling like your worth isn't there. I remember I started Wheela out of depression, and I remember the first time I ever charged for something, I was like, who do I think I am charging for this? So you said we say it out of not necessarily, saying bad things about ourselves internally, but the verbiage that we use. And
Yeah,
it's really about evolving. And so, yes, so thank you. So please
absolutely.
share.
No, and I think it's one of those things. There's a couple of things that came up for me while you were speaking, but I don't think everybody needs to work with a coach. And I'm never one of those people to say, you must do it this way in order to succeed. I think everybody's path is different. But I will say, having an external, objective third party where they're not your best friend, they're not your mom, they're not somebody who just will roll with whatever you say, if you have that third party that can look at what you're saying, look at what you're doing, and feed it back to you from an outside perspective, it is so helpful, because they're going to give you A, the perspective, but B, the suggestions that you never would have thought of yourself. And Francine, how you were saying that you didn't know you had to think about forgiveness or pride or ego. A lot of us don't even know really what that means or what that entails. And if you can find somebody, whether it's through a book you're reading or a podcast that you find or a coach that you work with, wherever you can find that material that speaks to you about diving into these concepts that we don't really think about, we're not taught to think about them, it will be life changing. And we're constantly doing it. Francine and I were chatting a little bit before we actually went live. And the honest truth is that the journey never ends. That self-work never ends. It will evolve, and you need to pay attention to different things at different points in your life. But I don't think I'll ever stop working with somebody in some capacity that can like turn the lens back on myself in a way that I can't, in a way that my friends and family can't do. And I think that's just going to be like one of the most important connections that people can make throughout their lives.
Yes. You're so on point. And I'm like, I'm just going to let Hannah continue because she is hitting all of the points and I love it. And it's so great when you connect, like I said, with people who know that type of growth opportunity. And because they've been through it themselves, they know what it's like to go through it. And yes, I always say work with a coach, a mentor, a therapist, whoever it is that can see the outside, you know, that can basically help you see and look inward. Like today, oh my goodness, I have to share this today. I was catching up on one of the coaching calls. I wasn't able to make my coaching call on Monday. And so I was listening to the recording and it just blew me away because, I know this as a coach myself, but it's like to hear somebody actually go through the process of it. It's really interesting. But see, so for example, and I shared it with my Bible study ladies because I always want to help people evolve. I want to help them grow as much as possible. And so one of the lessons was like, understanding that when you react, when you get triggered, when something affects you, the situation is more about you than about the person. And so you got to ask yourself, why did that trigger me? Why did that affect me? And so, for an example, there's a woman that hosts meetings, and anytime anybody is late, she has a fit. Like pissed off, like I can't believe it. You're late. I put this on the agenda, and it was like, okay. So my coach talked about stackers. So there's people that come into your life that are stackers because of a situation that you got to deal with. So when you continue to see these stackers, so for example, let's say this lady, she's angry because people keep showing up late in her life, okay? So when you address the anger and the situation as why you're angry at the person, you got to address it internally because it's about you, not about them. Because you're going to
Actually, I have a
continue to.
perfect example of this if I can kind of like build upon what you're saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was working with another coach. Again, you evolve and you work with different people because you
Different
meet different
coaches.
people at
Mm-hmm.
different times. I was working with a coach, and I'm almost embarrassed to say this, but I'm going to be really vulnerable with you guys.
I
was really upset because I had been pouring into a new relationship, a new friendship. And I was upset because I felt like I was not getting the same type of connection in return.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't understand. Like every time we meet up, like we're so similar, we vibe, everything's so great. And but I'm just not getting the same type of time commitment, or like, I'm willing to hang out and I'm willing to do this. And that's how you build a friendship. And I'm just not getting it through with them and all of these things. And this coach that I was working with says, why do you think it's about them? What do you mean? Like maybe they don't have the same capacity that you do. Maybe that this person was a mom, for example. I'm not a mother. And she was like, do you think that she has the same bandwidth as you? Maybe, maybe not. But what is it saying about yourself that that's triggering you?
Yeah.
And for me, I had to take a deep dive into saying, well, what I'm doing and what I'm saying about myself is, because of what I'm interpreting this person's actions to be, I'm not a worthy friend. Why am I not worthy? I'm feeling less than. I feel like I'm being shown that I am not worthy to be your friend. And she was like, why? Absolutely not. That's not what that means. Like, we need to reframe this whole thing. And so like this woman that got upset if people were mad coming late to the meeting, I myself had to do this whole reframe. It's embarrassing, guys. I'm 37 and I was upset because somebody didn't want to be my friend. And like we're all just kind of like children deep down. We all have our inner children. And like this woman, she did not want to be my friend. In fact, we get along famously every time we hang out and every time we're able to meet up. But my coach was right. She does not have the same capacity that I have or the bandwidth that I have. And that's not about me. That has nothing to do with me. And it's not even a negative thing about her. It's just what she can give and when she can give it. And that's totally fine. And
Right.
you reframe these things and you're like, oh, yeah, shoot, logically that makes a lot of
Yeah, but
sense.
see, somewhere in your neurology and your subconscious, you were holding on to a friendship that you were really wanting to build upon. And so it goes back to what was imprinted on us, what beliefs
Right.
did we have? And I did the same thing. I gave my all to this particular friend, and when I reached out for something in return that was really important to me and asked for her support, she said no.
Oof.
And it broke my heart. It broke my heart to the point where we're no longer friends. But I have since gone through the work of forgiving and releasing that process. And you start to realize there's certain people that will come in and out of your lives to teach you a lesson, to show you what it is you need to learn, and then go from there. And I'm grateful for our friendship. I absolutely still adore her, still love her, the whole bit. It's just we just eventually grew apart, and that's
Right.
okay.
And your expectations do change
Yeah, yeah.
after experiencing something like that, but that's okay.
Yes, exactly. And there's a lot of people I'm still friends with and so forth. And, I love my friends and things like that. And it's just even when you evolve from friendships from childhood and things like that, you guys just may not have the same, direction, the goal line that you're trying to go after. And that's okay. I still hang out every now and then. We grab coffee, breakfast, whatever that may look like. And, I will always love them.
But what was it about stackers? I totally
Oh
interrupted you.
yeah. Oh my goodness. So for sure. Oh my God. I'm laughing at your camera because do you see yourself?
It's going yellow and then not
Yes.
yellow. And you guys, I'm really sorry. I don't have a fancy camera like Francine has.
No,
I'm
no, no, no.
showing
You're
you my
fine.
laptop.
You're
But
fine.
yes,
I
this
just
is
thought
what
it
it's
was
doing.
funny and I go, oh my gosh, she is turning yellow and then she's turning room color. And I'm like, girl, hey,
I'm
get your
gonna do
get your
something
tan on.
really
Get your
quick.
tan on.
Yeah, yeah. I'm getting it's a
She's
golden hour.
sunbathing right
It's
now.
the glow.
She's
If
glowing.
you want me to try to fix it, I think if I turn another internal light on, it
No,
might
no.
help even it out.
I
But I
I
want
I
to
honestly
while I'm
I,
doing that, why don't you tell us about the stackers because
I know.
I want to know more about that.
I thought it was so cute. I had to share. That's all. So, anyways, stackers. Okay, she's. Are you seriously trying to fix it? You're good, girl. Okay, so stackers. Oh my god.
Yellow. I was like, I knew this was gonna work. It's fine. Continue. Oh no, I lost audio.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I got to be careful because when I touch this and it turns red, you can't hear it. My sound goes off.
Oh no.
I know. So I got to be aware of that. Because I did that one time. I was doing a live and I hit it by accident, and I did my whole live for 20 minutes and 30 minutes, and then the rest of the show was silent.
Oh.
I know. But anyway, so stackers, let me share. Hold on one second. I just want to make sure because Facebook tends to do this like where okay, we are live. I just want to make sure we're live on Facebook. Yes. It tends to, every time I go live on Facebook, it tends to block it, like where I can only see it. So I always have to unblock it. And so I just wanted to make sure we're good. Okay. So I was asking too, what are stackers, right? So stackers are people or situations that come into your life that will continue to show up until you work on the thing that you need to work on.
Mm.
Yeah. So this person was constantly receiving people who were late. And so once she went through the process of letting go of the anger and the situation that was keeping her frustrated about that, people started showing up on time in her life.
That is so funny.
Isn't that
And I
crazy?
mean, It sounds cliche to me because the circles that I run in, people say this a lot, but it may not be cliche to everybody. But sometimes you have to reframe these thoughts of like, why does this keep happening to me?
Yes.
Reframe that into why does this keep happening for
For
me?
you.
What is it? What's going on here? What do I need to pay attention to? And similarly, frustrations in life where you're really stressed out about a lot of things happening and blah blah blah, things are never happening to you. You are not a passenger in your own life. These things are happening for you, and I truly believe that something's trying to show you something, or there's an opportunity knocking at the door, whether it's for learning or growth or whatever. But to be able to reframe that thought, this is not happening to you, this is happening for you, it makes you open your eyes a little bit more and see these situations, however frustrating they are, in totally different capacities.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. There was something I shared. I'm sorry. I just didn't want to lose it. And it what talked about, oh, it was in the Atomic Habits. Be oh God, how did he say it? Be the creator of your life, not the consumer. Oh
Mm.
my goodness. It was so good. I was like, you get to be the creator, not the consumer.
Oh yes, and I love that because the more you feel like you're in control of your own life, I mean, number one, you're going to feel like you have a lot more options, right?
Yeah.
Because everything becomes a choice. What am I doing next? How do I want to do this? How do I want to react to this? You get to choose everything. And you're no longer, dramatic word, but you're no longer this victim that things are happening to. You get to go out there and you get to create your situation. You get to create your life. And as soon as you step into that power in that role, oh my gosh, you level up and it feels good.
Honestly, you all, okay. I just got to share. Hannah is like me 2.0. She is just like on fire. And I'm loving I love this chat and this conversation with her. But yes, everything you're saying is just on point. You get to believe in yourself. You get to reframe. You get to show up as your empowered self. And because ultimately that is the game changer. Once you allow yourself to receive any type of feedback, always be open to feedback to somebody, like people would know it as constructive criticism. I'm always open to it. Share with me, give me all the stuff, give me all the tools, because we carry blinders, and you talked about this earlier, but they're basically blinders. Excuse me, we don't understand what's happening because we're blinded by it. We're just like, but when somebody like a coach, a mentor, therapist shares and asks a question for you to really allow yourself that thought process, I mean, it's a game changer for you. So we have a couple of people joining us. Flora, yay. Good day, everyone. Thank you for the invite. You're welcome. And then William says, amazing. Thank you, William. Appreciate it. And then Flora says, create your life. I love it. Absolutely. And William says, restart a new chapter.
We're
Yes.
constantly restarting chapters. Are you
We
joking? I mean, our lives are just renewal after renewal after renewal. You're never stuck doing
know.
anything. And if you are, then you have to ask the question, why am I here? Like what do I keep doing that I'm still here? And you kind of again, it all goes back to doing that self-work. What is it about the internal? What is it that I'm doing? Because change and growth and rebirth and renewal all happens when you make that choice to do something different.
Oh, so good. Yes. So, hey everyone, this is Francine Ayala with Hannah Peasley. Hannah Peasley, take it away, hon. Take it away. Tell everyone why from self-doubt to self-worth and the power of positive talk is going to change their lives.
Oh my God, are you kidding? I feel like that title just says it all. Nobody wants to live their life being kind of negative and feeling awful about themselves. Do you think that's ever going to get anywhere or anybody anywhere? Like, I don't want to live that life. I don't want to feel that way. Not me personally. I want to feel good and I want to feel like I'm in control and that I am, the architect of my own situation. Kind of like we were talking about earlier. I want to be making the choices. I want to be the captain of my ship. And I think you can't get to that place if you have too much self-doubt. think a little bit of self-doubt is healthy because you're always questioning yourself. You know, you can't just be out here being like, I'm 100% right 100% of the time. Like,
Yeah.
not usually the case. But
why? I'm kidding.
oh, why? Well, you know what? You're talking about blinders. Those are their own set of blinders, right? If you're just like, I am all that
I
and
am
I
all
can do
that
no
and
wrong.
a bucket of chips. I'm just
Exactly. Yeah, that's not going to work out too well all the time. You have to have perspective. But
perspective.
self-confidence, I mean, there is a healthy way to grow confidence, to be able to go out and shine your light to other people, because you might be that type of person where people want to connect with you. They want to know you,
Yeah.
and you have valuable either information to help them with or just a really good friendship to help them with that they need at that point in their lives. You don't know what it is that you can provide to the outside world, to other people. And if you're not confident enough to go out there and be yourself and, you know, exist loudly, be yourself, go out there and be who you are and be authentic, and in a way that like your self-love shines through, that people are like, oh my God, I want to be a part of that. Like, you're just keeping yourself from the world. I know that everybody has something to give. And if it's being held back by self-doubt and negative talk, these are things that can be worked on. And as soon as you lift that shroud and take that blanket off of you, oh my gosh, it's a whole new world. Talk about renewal of new chapters. It's a
Yes.
whole new chapter.
And then Willem also said, we evolve every day, little by little. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's when you're willing to like put in the work and show up, you know, for yourself. And that's where it is. It's really giving your okay. One of the biggest lessons I learned, it was about a year ago, is give yourself grace for how far you've come.
Give yourself
Because
grace in a lot of ways too. If you're not perfect at something or you're struggling, give yourself a little bit of grace. You're working hard.
you are a masterpiece. And I always say, God made you extraordinary. He didn't make you ordinary. And this is why the show evolved into You Were Meant for More, because of where we've been and where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
That's ultimately what it's all about, is the direction that we were meant for more, and we are going to excel in that space.
And I also want to, you know, I always give a little caveat or clarification that meant for more means something different to every person. My more looks different from Francine's more, or
Mm.
my friends and family's more. There's people who their ultimate like tower of success looks so different from mine. And so when you say the phrase, you're meant for more, just take a minute, because your version of more and your version of success is so personalized to you. That doesn't mean you have to be rich. It doesn't mean you have to have a business. It doesn't mean you have to have a yacht, or like, I don't know, all these different things that people attribute to success. Maybe not for you. Maybe it looks like having an amazing garden with like 50 chickens and you did that yourself and you're so happy and you get to watch the sunset and sunrise every day. That could be your meant for more. And how do you work towards that?
Yeah. I love that. No, I mean, you nailed it. And it is, because we are all in our own season. And I always tell people, like, you're in your own season, you know, even spiritual journey. Like, you know, I know where I'm at in my spiritual journey, but guess what? I fought him for so many years. And, you know, just not being able to believe in myself that I was good enough for him to want to utilize me to spread the good news. I was like, I keep failing you, God. Like, why do you keep using me? You know, and he continues to show up and love on me and love on people. You know, we're just like not willing to listen. And I get it. You know, everyone's in their own journey, spiritual journey. And I always give grace. There's no judgment. And that's the thing, is you got to give yourself grace and no judgment, because you are going to go after what it is in your life that you want to accomplish. And like Hannah said, that may be a beautiful garden. Nobody's success is going to match up to what you believe success is in your mind. In, you know, and that's the thing. It's like when I talked about You Were Meant for More, it actually evolved out of me being in college and sharing with my classroom that I was going to be the next Oprah. And they laughed and I laughed and I was just like, but I didn't laugh at the time, but I was like, there was something within me that there was a matter of a fact that I was going to do it. And it wasn't necessarily I want to be Oprah. It was that I was going to change lives. I was going to go out there and make an impact. And so not everybody has that same vision, and that is okay. And when I talk about meant for more, I just know that there's no negative self-talk. There's no self-doubt. There's only self-worth. And the thing is, I will never judge a person for where they're at. I will never judge a person for not being at the level of my thought process. That everybody is in a space of their own, but I want to encourage you and empower you and uplift you to know that there's so much out there. There's so much out there for you. There's so much love. There's so much grace. There's so much peace, and that's the thing. It's like, especially during this time, people are struggling. They're struggling in their, mental capacity. They're struggling in their emotions. And I just wish and pray for more for them, that they understand that their love and their grace and their peace. So that's why I talk about and I share, these types of opportunities to really get to dive into who you are and who you want to become. And by showing up for yourself and giving yourself all that love. And so Flora said, "You are a masterpiece." Love it. Because you mentioned you're a masterpiece. Yes.
We all are in our own way. And on that vein of thought, one of the things that really helped me kind of overcome the negative self-talk and lack of confidence, I started asking, I don't know where this came from, but I literally started asking myself, why not me?
Yeah.
That led to a lot of self-work because I had to figure out why I didn't think I was worthy of whatever. Insert X here. Mm-hmm. But anytime I'm feeling the imposter syndrome, or anytime I'm feeling less worthy, less successful, whatever negative thing I want to put in there, the question then becomes, why not me? What really are we working with here? Because I, as a human being, have the same capacity, the same 24 hours in every day. What is it that I'm doing or not doing that's either creating this situation where I feel stuck or I don't feel great about myself, or it's keeping me from getting to where I want to go? And as soon as I started asking myself that question, and I swear to you, I ask that question to myself a lot, because I'll look at people where I'm like, oh, they're an example of what I think of as very successful, or they're very successful in this industry that I really want to be a part of, or whatever it is. Instead of saying, oh, well, I could never, they're doing all of these things, I couldn't do that. Or saying, oh, they probably have a lot of resources and I just don't have that. There's a lot of things where you could be like, oh, well, not me. The better question is, why not you? You're fully capable. What is it that you need? Do you need resources? Are those resources people that can help you with knowledge? Are resources money? Money is a thing that we can all go get in different ways. Resources and knowledge is a thing we can all go get different ways. What is it that you need? Why not? What's really the obstacle, the brick wall here? And I kept on doing that and asked myself every time. And every time I found the answer to, oh, well, this is what I would need to do in order to get to that thing that I want. The why not me didn't exist anymore. It's, well, yeah, that's me. That I'm going to do that. And it's helped me level up every single time. So if it works for anybody else, I urge you to ask yourself that same question, because really, why not you? Why can't you go do that thing? I think you can. I think we're all capable of doing the things we really want to do.
Honestly, that is so powerful, because I remember that self-doubt, why not me? And I remember going through it with one of my friends. She's a coach too, and like way back when, and I had, we were putting pricing into effect, and and it came out that I apparently thought I was worth 25 cents an hour.
When you do the math, it's basically
you're telling me you're worth 25 cents an hour, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, it's really understanding and diving into, why not me? And asking yourself that question. And there's so much opportunity to dive into the woman, the man that you get to become when you start asking yourselves those empowering questions,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and really knowing though too that we get to, obviously we mentioned this before, is we get to constantly evolve. And when you're doing that, you're going to find all those answers. It's really not going to take a lot of your time to do so. But what happens is we fall back into habits, these habits that continue to bring us into a place of doubt. And I'm actually reading a book, actually on Audible, called Atomic Habits. And it's so good. It's really good.
Classic. It's a classic for a reason.
Yes, I have it. I have it as a book and I have it as an Audible so that I can listen to it when I'm driving and then take notes with the book itself. And it's really one of the things they mentioned, which I want to share with you all, because the thing is, as you're evolving and you start to continue to place yourself in situations that keep, for lack of a better word, but like failing you for showing up as your best self, you have to change the environment. So, for example, you know, one of the things that I got stuck in was social media. I love social media. It's the funniest thing because I love being social, but I don't like being social. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I laugh because as I gotten older, like I tend to isolate a lot more than I should. But
We all do.
I kid you not, there's so much peace in my little cubby. I love it. And like when people ask me, let's meet, let's go to lunch, let's do this, let's do that. I kid you not. I'm just like, ah.
Well, I really feel you because one of the things I had to work on with a coach of mine was I constantly say yes.
Oh,
I'm a
yes.
yes. I'm a yes man. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, let's do that.
Same.
Yes, let's go to that
A
networking
lot.
event.
Yeah.
Let's
A
go to
lot.
that dinner with friends. Let's take that trip. Like, yes, 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 yes. I have a zest for all the things. I want to do all the things. That does not serve me.
I was the same person. So yes, I get it. So yes, 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 yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
But ultimately, so basically the social media thing, right? It came up in the priorities course and it came up in the atomic habits. So basically set yourself up for success. For example, I'm already starting to do the things I need to do. So what happens is whenever I would get up every morning, let me tell you what I used to do is I would check my phone. How many of us check our phones? Leave me if you're joining live, me, that's me. Hashtag me, whatever you want to do. And I would roll over, check my phone, check social. Social would always be first, right? Half asleep, right? Half asleep. So if you ever messaged me and I looked at it half asleep, I probably didn't respond because I was half asleep. And so you always have to follow up. But I would look at it and then I would check emails. So it was a routine. I would check my social medias. Actually, I would check my text messages because I usually had a text message from my son or, like not a client, a colleague, who I did training with. And, somebody's text would come through and I'd be like, oh, okay. And then that was that. And then I go to social and then I go to emails. And that was my routine. So guess what? Remember sorry, God, I don't have time for you. I couldn't read the Bible today. I couldn't get in prayer with you. I couldn't get in meditation mode because now I'm running, And so what this atomic habits mentioned is, okay, well, let's set yourself up for success. If social media is something that you really want, then tell yourself okay, so you really want social media, but you need to work out. You need to jump on the treadmill. So what you do is you set yourself up to be successful in that space where I don't get on my social media until I've walked on the treadmill. And then that's your reward after. I was like, oh my goodness. So it was funny. This morning was the first day I woke up and I didn't check anything. I checked my text because I saw my son had responded to a message, but that's my son, of course, my baby. But like I didn't go to social. I didn't go to my emails. I got out of bed. I did my prayer, I did my meditation with God, I did my Bible reading, and I did my personal development book. They're all three of them are right here. So I did those three. Then I got ready and I went to the gym. When I went to the gym, I popped up my social and I felt so accomplished. And I was just like, wow, here we go. I'm like following up with all the things, everybody's social. The thing about me is I love to give praise to other people. So I love, like, I'm your biggest cheerleader. I am out there praising you, celebrating you. Like, yes, girl, yes, I'm that person, And so I was like, okay, I did all my social. And then a friend of mine started posting all his socials, and he's out filming at a new hotel in Palm Springs. So I looked at all his stories and I was like, this is very entertaining. You know what I mean? So again, it provided that reward system. You know what I mean? So set yourself up for success where you constantly are falling into bad habits. Anything that you have that you can see yourself doing, Hannah, as far as habits?
Yes. We already discussed the fact that you are my hero in this. I am not there yet. I am amongst probably the majority that I wake up and I go on social media. And the excuse is always, well, my brain is still half asleep, so I need something to wake me up, but that I don't really need to focus on.
I used to say that all the time. Oh my goodness. I used to say
that. It's a perfect excuse, right? And also, it's like, I can't get on email yet. I'm half asleep. Like, I'm not even going to remember if I opened that email or not. I'm very much not a morning person, so I need some time. I need some time for my eyes to open, my brain to get going. But I also think that our society gives a lot of praise to the people who get going really, really early. And while there is so much behind that, you have more time before the day actually starts. You have a lot of time to do a lot of really healthy habits. I want to come from the perspective that it's also okay if you're not like bright and bushy first thing in the morning, but do something that serves you during that time that you're waking up. So what I'm going to make the commitment to you all, you're here listening, you heard it here first, and Francine, you can keep me accountable, is instead of going on social media, what I would prefer to do while my brain is sleepy, while I'm still waking up, I need a little bit of time to just be with myself. I and everybody else have 5 million things going on at all times. I want to wake up, have a little bit of time before life starts coming in at me. And whether that's doing a meditation, whether that's just sipping my coffee, whether that's playing with my dog for a little while, whatever it is, but be there, be present, be focused on what is happening in front of me, and do a little bit of gratitude work there too. That would serve me much better than immediately hopping on social media and getting consumed by, let's be honest, really useless stuff that's not always great or positive information. I think social media can always be the reward afterwards for whatever it is that you want that habit to do, and what you're journaling and you're doing your Bible work and you're going to the gym. And oh my God, I am so proud of you. That is amazing. But for me, I'm going to start. I always, I took this from a different coach. She called it a 3-foot toss. So being like, tomorrow, I know I'm not a morning person, but tomorrow I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm going to do my workout. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Might seem like a mountain. And if I don't summit that mountain tomorrow morning, I'm going to feel like a failure. Let's ease into this. I'm going to give myself a little 3-foot toss. The 3-foot toss is, I know I can at least get up and do a 10-minute meditation before I get into everything else. I can do that. I know I can. Maybe that 10 minutes leads into me doing a workout and feeling good about that. Maybe it leads out into something else. But those 3-foot tosses to make yourself feel successful right in the beginning when you're building these habits is really helpful for a lot of people. And jump right into it or ease your way into it. I'm going to choose to ease my way into it, but there are things that I can do that would serve me much better. And so, Francine, yes, keep me accountable.
All right. So I'm going to wrap it up with this in a bit, but let's go. Flora, I need to change my habit. Wake up and check my Facebook. Change is needed. Hey, girl, the first step is awareness.
Totally. So they
That
always
is
say
the
that
first
step one
step,
is
girl.
the problem.
Yeah, it's all good. Give yourself grace. So I want to share. I'm part of an accountability group in the morning, and we're all about faith, fitness, and coming together to share our intentions of our business, like our, successes, and just being in community together. And the whole process of that accountability group is slow mornings. And I didn't know slow mornings. My brain was chaotic. I was like, wake up at 6, make coffee, breakfast, gotta go, this and that. I'm on the road by 7. And so I didn't grasp that concept of slow mornings. And so as I started to work and evolve, and believe me, I know I told you this, Hannah, I never, ever wanted to be part of the 5 a.m. club. I had told people, I'm like, can we make it the 6 a.m. club? Like, I mean, I was on board for that. But I literally was like, people who were 5 a.m. people, I was like, good for you. Hallelujah. And I was like, you, Hannah, let's like not bash the people that get up at 6, 7. And
Well,
when I,
and like, not bashing or anything. I think,
no,
listen, I think you're totally right. And to
yeah.
do it the way that you're doing it is
Yeah,
phenomenal.
I had to ease into it, girl. I didn't just like wake up and be like 5 a.m. baby.
Oh, thank God. You made
No,
me over here feel like,
absolutely
oh,
not.
I don't
No,
know if I could do
nope,
that.
nope, nope, nope. It came with like a lot of adjustment. But guess what? I'm in bed by 9, you guys. 9 p.m. Yes, 9. Crazy, right? Like it's just I'm up at 5. I'm in bed by 9. My body needs that. And so like for those people that are struggling, like I have to mention this, with insomnia. You're struggling with insomnia, you're struggling with lack of sleep. I did that. I went through that for almost a year. So it's like I constantly, because like you said, Hannah, society was saying, they were giving all these praise to those 5 a.m. people. And I was like, I felt defeated. I felt very like sluggish, and I wasn't good enough because I wasn't getting up at 5 a.m. like everybody else who was successful. So therefore I'm not successful because I'm not up at 5 a.m. So it's just all of this inner chatter. My coach calls it the itty bitty shitty committee. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but the itty bitty,
I love that you said that.
but that's what it is. And it's like, but when we reframe, like Hannah said, and changing the dialogue that we say to ourselves. And again, I hear Hannah saying, I'm not a morning person. Do you know how many times I said I'm not a morning person? She just caught herself.
Call
But
me
we
out,
don't
girl.
realize
I
it.
hear it and I appreciate it.
We don't realize it. And so when I kept saying that, I was just like, well, no wonder I wasn't a morning person. I always said I wasn't a morning person. So whatever you're speaking, whatever you're putting out there, that is your reality. That is your reality. And so I love that Hannah really brought it home. I mean, you guys, I had notes, I had a whole thing, but I was like, Hannah, help me. I can't talk for 55 minutes on my own. And she just like, she
I
came
got
in
you.
and ran with it. And I am so grateful for you for doing this. So let me see who we got on here. We got you guys. This is the most that it's ever chatted with us. I'm so excited. Here we go. Let's see. We got, oh, Tony, stay on. You got to see something right now. Oh my God. I go to sleep between 12 and 1 a.m. I need help. Yes, you do. I can't with you. 12 and 1.
Listen, there's something to be said for night owls as well.
Yes.
We love
Tony,
everybody
you
here.
got to stay on this live because you're going to see what I'm bringing up next. I used to get up. Okay, so we got our next one, Sylvania. I used to get up at 5 a.m. Now I see I really need to get back to it. Yes. She used to get up at 5. Sylvania used to get up at 5 a.m. It's just, you got to be. Sylvania is another woman in Christ. This is why I did it. I had to be with the Lord. I had to be slow mornings. I had to be in his space. I had to really show up and give it to God for all the blessings, all the lessons learned, all the struggles, all the trials that I went through to get me to where I'm at today. So I'm grateful. So, first of all, I just want to quickly, let me go ahead and hide this. I want to quickly thank, let me go ahead and pull it up. There we go. I want to thank, before we close out, I want to thank our sponsor for this show, Tony Navarez and One Tax Pro. He has been such a highlight for what we're doing with the business with Wheela, and we're bringing finances to support women out there that are struggling with it. And so I want to be able to share that Tony is a tax accountant in Covina,
Hi,
California.
my name is Tony Navarez. I'm one of the accountants at One Tax Pro. One Tax Pro is a national tax firm that specializes in the service industry for business owners. Our specialty is providing tax resolution, and accounting services that meets the needs of professionals like yourself. Welcome to One Tax Pro.
Yes, Tony, we love you and One Tax Pro. So Tony and I are going to be doing something soon for any of you out there that are struggling with your finances, because believe me, I've been there. I know what it's like to just, be stuck. I was that person that didn't want to do my taxes for like 2 years because I was deathly afraid of like the mess ups and everything that I did in the past and didn't have that guidance. And so I love that he's definitely supportive of everything that we've worked hard towards. And he's actually seen my growth over the years. And so I'm grateful for that. So yay, Tony, you're welcome. And then props to you, Tony. Yes, thank you so much. And so I just want to say thank you to all of you for engaging with us, and huge hug. Hannah, I want to do lunch. I want to do coffee. I don't care. I will come out to you.
We'll make it happen.
I will make time. Because if you all don't know, Hannah and I met through a coaching opportunity together, and we were partnered to do a call together. And we met once on Zoom and just talked on the phone. And I kid you not, our energy and synergy just went together.
When you know.
Yes. And I reached out and I said, I have this live. I have a sore throat. I can't talk the whole time. Can you join me? And she showed up like a boss and nailed it. She, like, everything I wanted to talk about as far as this topic, she nailed it. She ran with it. And I'm forever grateful to you. So thank you so much.
Literally anytime. And honestly, I'm so happy for the opportunity, because I could talk for hours about this topic. It's near and dear to my heart, because I would not be where I am today without having done this type of work. And so I feel very, very strongly about spreading that message and just supporting everybody that's going through it and wants to make a change, because it's completely possible. And again, why not you?
Why not you? And quickly, 1 minute, tell us who you are and what you do, because I want them to know who you are.
Sure. Okay. Obviously, I'm Hannah Peasley. I actually have a couple of different businesses. I run a business management firm where we manage the personal finances of high net worth and ultra high net worth clientele. Additionally, I am the co-founder and COO of High Net Worth Women Institute, where I took all of my institutional financial knowledge working with the wealthy and ultra wealthy, and we turned that into an education platform specifically geared towards women, because we still are an underserved population. I think that there's a lot of financial content out there, but most of it does not cater to women and how we speak, how we absorb information, and what really matters to us. So we really took that gap in the market and created content specifically for that. But honestly, you guys, it's just financial education. Everybody should know this stuff. Yeah. So I urge you all to check us out at highnetworthwomen.com. And then, I also do real estate investing too. So I got all the hats, girl. And, you talk about confidence and things. I had to work hard for it.
Yes. And this is who she is. Wow, that's awesome, Hannah. Yes, she is phenomenal. So thank you. Thank you all for joining us live. Truly appreciate you engaging. Flora, Tony, Sylvania, and Will, I appreciate all of you. And then, of course, like I said, Hannah, thank you so much. And I appreciate you. You guys, we will see you next week on You Are Meant for More. Thank you for joining, and have a good night or morning, wherever you're at.
I want to get to know what you do, what inspires you, what you enjoy. My ability to lead really impacts women on a larger level, because not every woman has the same story or the same journey. So understanding where they've come from and where they want to go helps me be the leader that I can, so that I can show up in a space of authenticity for them.